I'm ready.
Afraid my nose is gonna run.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode, a wild, wacky, and fun episode of Articulture with me, your host, Bray, and with always my co-host,
lovely co-host Natalie. Yes, also I'm sick, so that's probably why I sound a little bit weird. So
yeah, please
y'all bear with
excuse her.
me.
Please excuse her. Natalie, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a spring break. How was your spring break? Was it pretty restful?
I loved it. See, I worked the entire spring break, but I loved it because I just worked and then I went to home. I didn't do homework. I didn't have to go do some sorority stuff. I could just work and then relax, which I miss. Like, I wish I could just have a normal job and just go home and relax, you know?
Yeah, just like clock in, clock out.
Yeah, like, I feel like I can't do that when you're in college, you know what I mean? You can't do that.
So today, kind of going into that, we're going to talk about the art of our self-expression and our inspirations, and more of a personal episode to kind of get to know our little styles a lot better, if you're listening. So I'm going to start out with you, yes. Natalie, and I can kind of play off and we'll go back and forth from there. What are the sort of things that inspire your kind of sense of self-expression, which that can either be through your work, your art, through your clothing, anything like that? Just what inspires you, really?
So artwork, because I am an art major and stuff. I mean, I'm graphic design, but I also do studio art as well. Honestly, a lot of professors, when you're an art student, a lot of professors want you to have this, like, artistic process, and you have to sketch, and you have to do, I just do whatever I want, in all honesty. Like, I'm like, oh, that looks cool, I want to do that, and so I go and do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really overthink. Because there's some artists, like, that will spend days just planning a piece, you know? Like, sketching over and over and over again, and I hate that. I don't know, like, I don't know, it's like, I don't think too hard about it. Like, if I like it and it looks good, then I'm gonna do it, you know? But if it feels off and it doesn't really look that good, in my opinion, I'm not gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Sorry, guys. I get sick like every month. I get sick at least once a month. But a lot of these people, they want you to have theories, and they want you to have, and, like, you know, the theories are helpful. Important,
yeah, because it informs, like, the scholarly process of it, and the actually thinking about, you know, what does this mean and all of this stuff. But I know what you're saying, because I'm not a big, like, planner of whatever sort of art that I do, whether it was when I was an art major, like when I was a graphic design major, actually. I get, like, anxiety out from it.
Yeah, and it's
I overwork it, overthink it, and, like, ugh.
And I feel like there's a lot, like, the principles of design and the Gestalt theory and stuff, like, yeah, that is helpful, but I feel like a lot of it's just common sense. Do you know what I mean?
It really is, like, does it look good? Does it look bad? Yeah,
I feel like I really don't have to think that hard about it. I just look and I'm like, yeah, that looks good, like, it has balance, you know, because I like...
You can tell.
Yeah, I have an eye for it. I naturally know if something's balanced or not balanced. I know if the color palette goes well together or not, and so, and I use bright colors a lot, too. I mean, look at me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got, like, the purple hair and the bright yellow shirt, you know,
Typical hell.
But I really like colorful stuff. I don't really use black and white a lot. I use, like, all my paintings, like, all of my pieces, like, everything I've almost done is very colorful.
Did you ever go through an evolution of that style? Did you start with something different where you thought you could only be in this one section, but gradually as you learned more and developed your skills as an artist, you changed into something else, or were you always kind of the same?
I think whenever my art process evolved, I became more free and I became more educated, because how it started was, growing up, I did art camps, you know, and I did art classes, like, occasionally, but they were never serious, do you know what I mean?
Right.
And when COVID hit, I was bored out of my mind, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I had a friend back at that point, and she did paintings all the time. Like, she did digital art, like, she did a bunch of different art. And so I was like, oh, well, I want to give that a try. And so I looked up paintings on Pinterest, and I went to Walmart and I got some paints, some cheap, like, 99-cent
Walmart
paints. Yeah.
Deco art or something.
I didn't know what I was doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I'd done art before, but it was very immature. Like, it was just, like, summer art camps and, like, little things here and there. And so I did drawing for a long time. But I was never good at drawing. Like, I looked at my sketchbook from 9th grade, and I was like, ooh.
You're like, ooh, I was trying to be Picasso.
I thought I ate, and I was like, oh,
yeah, you
no.
I remember I in my sketchbooks, I would draw something, and I'd be like, this needs to be hung up in the MoMA. I'm like, this is next level.
Like, takes over.
Yeah, and then I posted on Instagram with, like, 5 filters over it, and it would look horrible, and I'm like... And I look back on it and I'm like, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life.
The
Delulu certainly took over.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. But after I started painting, they were really bad at first. They were horrendously bad at first. Let me tell you.
Were you
like,
doing abstract? It's like...
No, I was just copying stuff, like copy and paste off of Pinterest.
Oh,
I was just like, I looked up easy painting ideas,
like the crayons falling into like the umbrella.
I did like oh man, like really basic, like I don't know how to describe it. It was not good, you know what I mean? I enjoy it a lot. Like I would spend 9 hours a day, like straight, just painting. Like time would go by so fast. Like I would just paint for 9 hours straight. Like I'd have maybe a 30-minute lunch break and then boom, straight back to it. And after that, my passion kind of grew for art because it kind of, I'd kind of put art away for a little bit and I did other things and then I picked it back up again. And I also, I started watching YouTube tutorials. I started watching you need proper materials. Don't get the 99-cent paint for Walmart. You know what I mean?
You need the what is it? Artist Touch. The one from Hobby Lobby or whatever. Yeah, that's what I did. The acrylics that are like $8 a can. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, those are a little bit better, but some artists claim that those aren't good, but I think you can work with most paint. You just have to use multiple layers, or you have to kind of figure out what to do. But I just painted for years, and I taught myself more like techniques. I looked up YouTube tutorials on how to do this, how to do that. I kind of grew away from the Pinterest easy paintings. I tried doing portraits. I tried doing like still lifes and stuff like that. I also took a painting class at community college, and so and then after that, I also started paying more attention to art museums. I started going to art museums more. I joined the art club back at my community college. I also learned about sculpture, like a lot. Like I just looked up more information. Like I kind of grew from there. Like I went from painting to I basically do everything now.
What's your favorite?
I
feel like you're a painter.
I really like Bray painter.
I feel like that's, I don't know, I feel like that's what you really get your zhuzh from.
Well, that's always gonna be my first love, like painting. Especially, I hate oil paint though. I hate oil paint.
Don't get me started on the damn
hate oil paint. I love acrylic paint. That's my first love right there. But I kind of like mixed media. I love
a mixed media.
Mixed media thing.
It's fun.
I do a lot of mixed media. I like photography as well, and I also like abstract photography. Like where they do like the cool like filters and I just love that stuff.
It's like a picture of a sewer grate, and then it's got like 5 layers on it, and you're like, ooh, this is art.
So cool.
Guys, this means so much.
Yeah, like I have art boards on
I'm 14
Pinterest.
and this is deep. Like,
yeah.
This means like the segregation of communities, and we're going in, and this is the up and the down, and it's just separated, and it's crazy. That's really what it's giving, and I love that. I love taking pictures and looking at them.
I've been doing photography recently. I tried to get you to do a photo shoot, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later because I'm bad at scheduling things.
But I do photography. It's always been my dream. And last semester, especially around Christmas break, I worked my butt off doing DoorDash and other things so I could save up money because I'm not trying to flex, but my camera was $1,800. That was just the body alone. That was not even including other things. Yeah. I have a Canon R8 and it's used, by the way. I got mine used for $1,800. It's usually more expensive. And so I've always wanted to do like photography and stuff because I did photography in the past, but my parents gave me like a crappy like
They said, here's a digital disposable camera. Here you go. Like
they gave me a Canon Rebel like whatever. It's super bad quality. Like it's like for like kids, basically, you know what I mean? And so I was like, well, if I get my hands on, like, a better camera, I can do more, and I'll be able to actually, and so I've done about 3 photo shoots so far with my friend Maddie. I love her so much, she is down for whatever, like, she's like, yeah, let's do it, and, yeah, she'll do whatever, yeah. And she's really good at modeling, like, she knows the poses, like, I don't have to tell her, like, I need you to smile, I need you to turn.
I need you to suck it in.
I don't have to tell her anything. She just does it. So, and I think the photos, like, I'm not trying to sound, like, cocky, but I think the photos are kind of good. I kind of ate. Actually.
Miss Natalie, all right, with your photography. Look at that.
I'd love to do it as a side hustle.
Yeah.
I would love to do photography. It's my dream job, honestly.
There you go. I have kind of a similar trajectory to you. I started in, like, art classes. We just had, like, art classes, basic ones at my school. And I would have, like, a sketchbook. And at first, I only did pencil. Like, I was only sketching pencils. I was sketching dinosaurs.
Was it, like, the number 2 pencil?
It was the number 2 pencil. I would throw in a little more some of the artistic ones once I got, like, into the classes, and they were like, here's these, like, dark pencils, and here's this light pencil.
B and H pencils.
Yeah, and the blender, and you gotta blend it out. Yeah. And I was into that, and I was like, I will not do anything else, because I could erase it. And I was so scared of, like, permanent anything, because I was like, I'm gonna mess up, and I'm not gonna be able to erase it, and like, crazy. So I started with that. Very much, so much art anxiety. Started with that, and then I had my, like, junior senior year, I started doing, like, pen and ink stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah, because I could sketch it out first, and then I would, like, trace over it.
It was safe.
So I could, like, trace, and I could do it, and it looked cute, and I was like, oh, wow. And I did a lot of these, like, frogs, but, like, they were, like, Frog and Toad.
Yeah.
They were very Frog and Toad vibes, like,
That's cute, yeah.
dressed up, and they were, like, sitting on mushrooms and going on hikes and stuff like that. It was very that to you. It was really fun. And then my, like, senior project was this giant, like, huge... whatever, how big it was, and it was this giant scene of, like, all these frogs and this little, like, celebration with these little mushroom houses, and they were, like, it was like a wedding reception vibes where everyone's, like, partying, and there's so many people, and there was a lot of stuff happening, and it was really fun to do. I loved all the details and stuff of it, and I went crazy on it, and it was really fun. So that's where I was again in my pen and ink forever, and then I was like, I'll never color anything. Because the color, I don't know how to use it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't know who that is. Like, I don't know the mama. I don't know who they are. Because I also didn't like doing, like, still life. I didn't like doing anything realistic.
Still lifes are kind of boring. I'm so real with you. They're so boring.
It's boring. Yeah. I mean, I'm so astounded by the people who do still lives very accurately.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing skill. It's not something I can do, and I'm constantly gagged every time someone makes something and it looks like a photo.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. It's so cool. But for me, I don't have the patience for that. I'm not drawing that out. I'm not doing the grid. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So I really went into more of, like, kind of like a cartoony art style, or...
Well, people like that more nowadays because you have children's books, like, you have illustration. People like cartoon more than realistic, honestly.
And it's just fun. It's fun to do. You can kind of... I mean, it's kind of a cop-out because you don't have to do, like, physical proportions, which is always the hardest thing to do. When you're copying someone, you have to do their right eye and left eye the same.
Oh my god, yeah, it's horrendous.
It's horrendous. So that kind of gives you a lot of, like, freedom, and I liked it because I could just draw whatever as long as it looked good. Like, as long as it looked like what I wanted it to look like, it was okay. And then I started... using markers.
The alcohol markers?
Yes, the alcohol markers.
Yeah.
And then I think I did those, and then I had some other ones. And they were so fun. And I started drawing with that.
I never learned how to blend them.
I didn't learn how to blend them. Don't ask me how to blend them.
Apparently you can blend them.
I know you can.
Every time I've tried,
it's horrible.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That's a superpower in itself.
It becomes, like, black.
Yeah, it's a superpower in itself. The fact that, like, if someone tells me that they can blend alcohol markers, it looks amazing. I'm like...
you're a Jedi.
I'm like, yeah, you're basically a magician at this point, because how?
I don't
Literally
understand
how?
it. I don't think my brain comprehends, like, the science behind that, because I've tried to do it, and it just fails.
Yeah, every time I've tried so many
spectacularly.
times, so.
Yeah, so I was in my marker phase, and then I found my acrylic paints.
Yeah, there you go.
And the acrylic paints,
I don't know, I love
eat.
painting, because there's just something, like, people have painted for thousands of years, you know what I
it's
mean?
like one of the most...
It's kind of, like, almost, like, how I word it, like, it's almost kind of, like, yeah, like,
well, because
spiritual
that's
in
how,
a way.
you know, the cave paintings.
Yeah.
Those are paintings.
It's like we're connecting back to our roots, kind of, in
Yeah,
a way. Yeah,
'cause
painting will always be my favorite.
You're just smacking color onto something and seeing what happens.
Well, I like the texture, too, and there's different layers, and you can also mix things, you can also add on top, and if you don't like it, you can always just cover over it. You can always
paint over it.
Yeah.
That's really tea. With watercolors, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, you're cooked.
And people who do watercolors, like, I'm impressed, because that's a lot of, like, skill and, like, fragility to handle, and I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
I like my acrylics. I can slack down the color. I can put the paint on. I can smear it around. I can make it look fun, and then if I don't like it, I can just skip it off and then do something else.
I miss painting and stuff. Like, I miss doing art for fun. I haven't done art for fun in a long time because I'm so burnt out because I'm taking all art classes. And it's like, I need this but it's like produce. Like, it never stops. Like, I don't even want to look at a paintbrush in my free time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, get that thing away from me because I'm just so, like, burnt out on art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks, but.
I'm kind of the opposite way. I don't have any art classes. But the art I do, I do.
And you.
I said do. The art I do, I have kind of a production anxiety behind it, where I'm like, I have to get it done. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do another canvas. I have to do this.
You gotta get rid of that.
You have to it's so horrible, because when I do, like, not think about that, I always have a lot of fun.
Well, if you don't enjoy the process, then the artwork's not gonna be that good. Like, I feel like people can tell when something's rushed. I feel like people can tell if it's rushed or the person didn't like the subject, or, like, you can tell.
Because you just don't have the passion behind it. You don't have the like. You have to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
To make it really good, I think. And I've also started kind of doing a lot more of abstract paintings with acrylic paint, like using more texture, kind of, instead of, like, a subject or solid.
Well, I love abstract because it's easy. Well, I mean,
okay.
It's kind of easy.
Let's get into it.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's more easy to just do. You don't have to think about it that hard.
It's easy to start.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it looking good.
Yeah.
Or so it doesn't look like just doo-doo. Like, it doesn't just look like you just sprayed paint on something and said, here's my artwork. But that's kind of usually what you're doing.
Well, I sometimes do that.
I mean, it's fun. I last time I painted, I made this painting and I mixed all of these colors together, and I was just, like, using my palette knife and just going back and forth, and it created this top coat of, like, brown paint where all the colors combined. And I found out if I, like, scraped it off, there was, like, really pretty colors underneath.
Yeah.
So I just, like, started scraping it all off, and I just ended up with, like, two handfuls, a double shot of brown doo-doo paint, which was just all of it congealed together, and I just, like, flopped it onto my palette, and I was like, now that's art. I said, now look at that palette. That's got art in it. Because also, when I do my acrylics, I kind of like to make my palette a piece of art as well.
Oh, really?
When
That
I'm
is
doing
good.
it, because I'll use, like, cardboard or, like, cardstock for my palette.
You need to get it's called palette paper at Hobby Lobby. It's it helps the paint not absorb into the because you can waste, like, supplies.
Oh, you waste so much, yeah.
So yeah, you need to get palette paper because that changed my life. Because YouTube taught me, but yeah, palette paper. It's kind of like wax paper basically. So you can, I guess, technically get wax paper if you don't want to, but it's not that expensive at all.
Right.
But you put it on there and it helps it not soak through.
Yeah, you can use
it
all
helps
of
it stay fresh, like, longer. So that's what I would do if I were you.
Yeah, but I've also discovered I like what the palette looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's like the remnants of it, and you can build on top of it, so it's also kind of three-dimensional. It gets three-dimensional, and I just think that's another cool little thing that you can.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Make.
That could be your thing. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I mean?
just like
as an artist.
It's nonsense, but it's also like you see all the different projects that you've worked on. You see all the different colors you've put into it, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Because it's like all destroyed or whatever, built up, or like extra paint that you let dry out or something on there, like kind of creates like cool textures, and I'm really into that. So I guess now we're gonna go into what inspires you. What is your main like inspiration for your art? Do you have one? Do you like pull from a lot of things?
So
What's going on in that little mind?
So I like trying new things. So a lot of the time I will try to do new mediums or just new anything. So like for example, my drawing class, for one of our final projects, we're gonna have to. She said you can do anything. As long as long as it's, you know, she basically said, you know, you can do whatever as long as it's like this many dimensions or whatever.
Right.
And so I have an idea. I've never done this before. I want to do a shadow box with like a bunch of stuff in it, but it has like a story also.
Okay.
So basically
like
a shadow box
fairy
is kind of like a box has depth to it, and so I want to add I want to have like some sort of like message and meaning, like a theme to it, but add different like trinkets and stuff in there, and also write handwritten stuff, you know, like, and also include art in there, like basically mixed media stuff.
Right.
And then what inspires me is probably just my emotions most of the time, really, I would say. I, especially in the past, not recently, because it's more technical stuff with, like, graphic design and everything, but in the past, it's mostly been, like, emotion-driven, you know? So,
nice.
I just kind of do whatever comes to mind, you know? Oh,
Right.
music, too.
Music, that's why I was like, yeah.
Ethel Cain.
Yeah.
Ethel Cain, her music, I've made so many art pieces where they were inspired by her, and like I'll try to include her lyrics somewhere, like into, so like basically like any of her music, if I like it or I resonate like really hard with like the message of the song or like a certain lyric, then I'll like add it in there. So
perfect. I love that. I draw a lot of inspirations obviously from like fashion illustrations. Those were like my favorite thing to look at when I was a kid, like looking at like the internet or Pinterest or magazines or whatever, where you would just see like a dress being made, but it's not super detailed, but it's very interesting concepts. It's very whimsical, and it has very like, I always just loved the like quick strokes. Yeah. Like I love the like they did it in one little thing.
That's an art in itself, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very like movement oriented, and it looked like flowy, and it gave the feeling of the fabrics. You knew what fabric they wanted for it, even though they didn't. Yeah. You obviously can't tell, but you can just see it through how they drew it. So that inspired me a lot, in the sense that I like to do things that I like to plan things out, but I also like to just kind of go for it. Yeah. And kind of go where I want to go. And when I trust myself, I make the best things. Because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what my mind wanted to do. And instead of getting bogged down in a lot of preparation, I can just kind of like go for it. And then also incorporate like really bright colors. Bright, bold colors I've always loved. So I love to like, all the paintings that I have made right now of like just like big yellows and pinks and blues, and I just love those like bright, almost kind of elementary kiddish colors. Yeah. I just think there's something very captivating about that when you're in like an adult life, when you're trying to, you know, grow up and everything. Well, there's also kind of a catharsis with just putting some really bright, fun paint down and seeing what goes.
Well, also, like, I think there's a certain term for it when it comes to the art world. I think it's dopamine something, but basically whenever people use bright colors or whenever people see bright colors, it releases dopamine in your brain. You know, like, ooh, pretty color, you know what I mean? Ooh, pretty. Yeah, like, pretty color. That's why I like using bright colors, because I'm like, ooh, pretty color, but like, like, you know, that monkey part of my brain just activates, yeah. But, like, I don't feel the same way with black and white art. I mean, I like the values, and I like there is, like, some form of, like, talent. And
like, emotion can play into that as well.
Yeah, but it doesn't do the same.
At.
It's not the same as if I see, like, a bright, like, ooh, pretty color, shiny, you know what I mean? Like, it's that monkey part of your brain, you know? So.
Yeah, I love engaging with the monkey part of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey part of the brain is the place where I live, actually. I actually live on that street, and that street, we go crazy. We go crazy, we go stupid, and we create some crazy stuff. Like, I did this one painting that was, I found, it's kind of multimedia, and I've been really engaging with multimedia, and I really love that you said that, because it's super cool. I found these old, my, like, great-grandfather was, like, a sculptor, so we had a lot of these illustration books that would tell you how to, like, draw emotions, like, this person's happy, sad, like, this is how to draw it. And I cut out, like, one of the faces, and, like, put it into a canvas that I did with, like, all yellow paint, and, like, textured it, and let it set, and I just put it in the middle, and, like, surrounded it with, like...
See, like, that's fun. And that's mixed media. Yeah, it's fun.
I, like, dressed it up, because it was obviously just, like, black and white, but then I would put down, like, lipstick, and make the hair, like, crazy, draw hair on it.
See, I love mixed media, because if you like, why not have the best of both worlds, do a little bit of everything? Like, why would you just stick to one, you know?
Right, and then I'm like, I'm putting fake pearls on it, and I'm putting, you know, paint splatters on there. It's very, like, kind of pretentious, but really fun to make. I just love it. I think mixed media, there's a real kind of, like, childlike wonder about it.
You have fun.
It brings me back to building things out of, like, cardboard. And, like, oh, I'm going to make a plane out of cardboard or whatever. And it's just, you just could do anything. And that's what it really feels like. And I think that's kind of the part of my brain I like to engage in a lot. Especially, like, even dressing myself. Yeah. I like to engage in that, like, what would a kid with, like, with free will dress themselves as if they were an adult? That's kind of what I like to do, because it's just, like, fun, and it's not serious, and I get to just do what I think makes me happy.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
You're supposed to do that, yeah.
Exactly. So it's really, that's kind of the main message of my art vibe, is that I just like to engage with that wonderful, fantastical, whimsical part of everyone's mind that exists, because I think we don't engage with it enough.
No, it's just serious. Everything's so serious nowadays.
Yeah, and I respect the H out of serious art, because it takes so much time, so much, you know, planning and preparation and skill goes into it. But sometimes when you look at something that's just silly, you just like it's like it just makes me happy. It just makes me smile.
I love found object sculptures, or I like whenever they take like things, like, for example, I'm gonna title on myself. I was door dashing during Christmas break, and I ran over a cone, and it got stuck under my car. And my friend had to come and, like, we had to, like, lift my car up, like, with the tire, like, you know, like,
with the jack.
We had to drag it out from under my car, because it was stuck under my car. Like, it wasn't just
she got sucked up under there.
And so I kept it. I was like, you know what? And so I'm thinking about making it into an art piece or doing something. So
perfect. I love that. Well, today we have talked about a lot. We've gotten into our personal styles, our personal tastes, so hopefully you've been able to kind of reflect on your own styles and tastes, and if you see us around, we'd love to know what your styles are, and just engage in a conversation about your own personal art. I think that's really fun. That's kind of going to be it for us today. We kind of had a chill episode. Next time, we're going to get back at it with some more research-driven, interesting, historical figure.
We're going to be taught. We're going to be cultured.
We're going to be cultured next time. We're going to really tap into the culture part of articulture. But today, I'm going to be very light and culture-y and arty. So, yeah, that's going to do it. And I hope y'all have a bright and bold day. So, bye, guys.
Bye.